Welcome to the video on installing a Linux VM. So we just finished in a previous video installing the Windows VM. This is going to be a similar process with a few changes. So once again, we'll go to the node, PVE, and then we'll select create the VM. And what we'll call this, I'm going to install a Kali Linux VM. So I'm just going to name it Kali, but you see the VM ID, as I talked about before, it will auto-populate with the next available number starting at 100. So that's why we see 101. We don't have to worry about the resource pool at this time. And then we will select the OS. Once again, we will be using an ISO from the local storage. So we'll hit the drop down and we'll choose the straight up Kali Linux, not the Kali Purple. And we'll go ahead and keep the Linux type under the guest operating system and the kernel version. And we can then go to system, where we'll keep everything as default, except we will add the QEMU agent. And then we can select next. For disk size, I'm going to go ahead and change that to 100. So then we can select next. For CPU, this is going to be my attack box. For now, I'm going to give it 2 core and see how it behaves. If I need to up it later, I will. If this was a VM that's going to be doing more resource intensive stuff, then I would probably crank it up a little bit higher. Same with memory. I'm just going to, I'll give it 4 for right now. And if we need to change that later, I will. Under network, for now, we're going to keep everything at the default as far as the bridged. And we're not going to give a VLAN tag right now. There'll be a whole video on the network configuration. I will deselect firewall for now. And then we will select next. And this just gives us a chance to review the settings one last time. And then I will click start after created and then select finish. Okay, so we go back underneath our node. Now we see the Kali VM listed, and we'll go to the console. So I sped up the video. I mean, the purpose of the video is really to show how to install the VM on Proxmox, not really on how to install Kali Linux. If you're at this point in the course, then you've installed Kali Linux before in the past. So we'll jump right back in after the installation. All right, so we've finished the initial install for Kali Linux. We'll get logged in. So one of the things we can do is we'll check the summary again. We see the information on CPU usage, as well as network traffic and memory usage. And this will also give us an idea down the road if we need to increase resources, because if we start to see this stuff being maxed out, then we need to increase the resources a little bit. One thing we haven't done yet, if we go back to the console, is open a terminal. And what we want to do is install that QEMU agent. So we'll go sudo apt install QEMU guest agent. We prompted for the password. And it looks like it's already installed, so we're good. And I just want to make sure we can reach the internet, which we can. And then I also want to just check that IP address. Once again, we're on that IP range from my home network, which is fine for now. Once we get all the VMs installed, then we'll set up the networking. But that's pretty straightforward, very similar to the way that we configure our Windows VMs. So I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of the VMs without doing a video. The process is the same. Just follow the process for Windows and the process for Linux, and I'll see you in the next video.